Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. So, it is a sad time as we are losing John Byrne. This is his last issue. Uncanny X-Men 143 from 1980. And love this cover. Terry Austin actually did it. If this doesn't look like a John Byrne cover, wow, wow, wow. I always thought it was Byrne and Austin, and but nope, it is a Terry Austin cover. Guess what just came down the chimney? So, of course, I discovered this issue in the 1990 classic X-Men, or at this time renamed X-Men Classic number 47, cover by Steve Lytle. Love the black. Just John Byrne drew the originals like this, so he Lytle kept it. So I think that is awesome. So Steve Lytle, rest in peace. So yeah. I do actually do own this issue now, the original issue, but again, this is how I discovered it. So we start out with Storm fighting the demons from, I covered this in Classic X-Men number 4. I forgot which issue of X-Men that was, but we're kind of going back as she managed to defeat that, and so this was X-Men 96, so the X-Men 96, which is Classic X-Men number 4. And so you can see here she defeats that, and you see here the passage of time: winter, spring, summer, fall, winter. So, but it says here, Professor Xavier believed that the destroying the cairn would forever seal the gateway between the Nagari dimension and Earth. He was wrong. So we've got a demon out. So we got these two people here. They're gonna go cut a Christmas tree. And the guy hears something. He's gonna go check it out, and then suddenly, Urg, as he is attacked here. And it says here, for Douglas Moore, death is virtually instantaneous. So this poor guy gets it. His wife has time for a choked cry that is abruptly ended as quickly as abruptly as her life. And when the killing is done, the Nagari feeds on both body and soul. These victims are the first of many. So great. That is cool stuff. I cannot believe that this team ended. So we got the title of our story. This has to have been drawn by Byrne. That just looks amazing. Demon. So 'twas the night before Christmas. So, and so Professor Xavier is teaching Kitty Pryde about the Blackbird ignition procedures. So, never introduce something unless you're gonna use it. So, and so Kitty sighs here. Master brakes switched on, brakes locked, throttles too. And then Angel interrupts and says, "Professor, the car is ready. It's getting late." So here we have the credits of Chris Claremont and John Byrne. This is it, folks. Now they do join back. There's actually a JLA that eventually I will get to. That John Byrne and Claremont did together. I think it's 6 issues. I think Jerry Ordway was the inker, though, not Terry Austin. So, Terry Austin is also his last issue. He is gonna leave with Byrne, but not join him in Fantastic Four. I don't know where else what he does eventually, but you have to know this was a good paying gig, so I can't believe he decided to leave. So Tom Orzechowski is the letterer for almost every issue. I think an issue or two he doesn't do, but he'll be around. Glynis Wayne. Eventually, she divorces Len Wayne or Ween and goes to her maiden name Oliver. Louise Jones becomes Louise Simonson, and then of course Jim Shooter, Boss. So Kitty says, "Hiya, Angel. Talk about your timely interruptions. I feel like I could build our Blackbird jet out of the spare parts with my eyes closed." And Professor S, Kitty, "I shan't be satisfied until you can." So, and Angel says, "We all went through this grinder, kid. Now it's your turn. And this is the easy part." And Professor Xavier says, "Thank you, Angel. I'm sure Kitty appreciates such encouragement. We'll be downstairs directly." So, we got Mariko Yoshida and Wolverine are going on a date, and Nightcrawler shows up with a mistletoe and gives her a kiss, and freaking Wolverine goes crazy. I mean, just crazy jealous, and so he pulls his and Wolverine ends up having to, or sorry, Nightcrawler ends up having to teleport, or he was going to friggin' get killed by Wolverine. And Colossus holds them. He says, "Wolverine, what do you think you're doing? Kurt is our friend." And Wolverine's like, let go of me, you tin-plated lummox." And Professor Xavier's like, "Wolverine, she's your claws. Kurt meant no harm. You know, his was an innocent Christmas greeting, not some enemy's attack." And finally, Chris Claremont says, "As abruptly as Wolverine's sudden berserker rage begins, it ends." And he says, "I'm obliged, Charlie. Your telepathic mind touch did the trick. I'm calm now. Everything's cool, Misfit. Kurt, I'm sorry. I lost my head. I guess the old ways, the old habits die a lot harder than we figured. Mine's are killer instincts. Always have been. Always will be. I hoped that could be changed. I was wrong." So Kitty decides to lighten the mood and gives Colossus a kiss in the cheek. "Merry Christmas, sexy." Now, I think she's 14. Colossus is over 18. I know that we did the annual where Nightcrawler turned 21. Let's just assume Colossus is 20. Yeah, no, it's even in 1980 that was not appropriate. But "Peter, you're blushing," says Kitty. And Nightcrawler says, "Good thing you only kissed him on the cheek, kitten. Anywhere else he'd probably have dropped dead from shock. So, you know, Kurt, I'm beginning to regret rescuing you now." "Are you indeed?" And so Storm comes in. "I've brought the automobile around, Professor." "Thank you, Aurora," says the Professor X. "It's a lovely night, Aurora. You're it's a lovely night, Aurora. I think she meant going. You're doing. Oh, because it's a nice night. And she says, "What good is being a mutant weather witch if one can't conjure up crystal clear Christmas Eve?" "Way to go, Ororo. Have a nice time, you guys," says Kitty Pryde. And so Angel leaves and says, "See you later, kid. My lady Candy Southern and I have a long overdue date. You may not see me again till Easter. Enjoy yourself, Angel." And now she's like, "Finally, they're all gone. Oh my gosh, what am I saying? They're all gone. I'm all alone," says Kitty. So she's going to try to call her parents, but there's no answer. And then the phone rings as she puts it down, and it turns out to be Scott Summers. And so she says, "Oh, it's you. Sorry. Hi, Scott. This is Kitty Pryde. Do you remember me?" And so he says, "Of course I remember you, Kitty. How are things?" And he says, "No one's home but you. I see. Well, give everyone my love. Wish them a Merry Christmas and tell them I'll try to phone again tomorrow. Bye, Kitty. Take care." Love that John Byrne gives and draws backgrounds. Look at the boat here. This is absolutely great. So Cyclops took a leave of absence back in X-Men 138, which I covered. So I have everything. I have a playlist. I'm going to cover the Chris Claremont era of X-Men, of New Mutants. I'm going to include the Louise Simonson X Factors and the New Mutants when Louise Simonson takes over too. A lot of stuff in chronological orders. You will see a lot of stuff. So that's why I'm doing these videos daily, because otherwise it would take years. So um, Cyclops says, "Poor kid. She sounded really lonely. I know the feeling. I had too many Christmases like that growing up in the orphanage. Why'd the others leave her though? That's not like the X-Men at all." And so Cyclops says, "Excuse me, I'm looking for Lee Forrester, captain of the Arcadia. I was told he was hiring crew." "I'm Lee Forrester. Aliettis to my relatives. You heard all right." And Cyclops is like, "You're a girl." "Care to try again, sport? I'm sorry, I meant." And she's like, "Apology accepted." Scott Summers. "Come on aboard, Scott. We'll split a pot of coffee and talk." So, all right. So, here we go. We're not going to cover or read all this. This is so many freaking words. Essentially, Professor X um, programmed the danger room for Kitty. There's nothing there that's going to make her life miserable or try. It's more like a gym. So a lot of exposition here. We are not going to read all this because one thing we've learned is Chris Claremont loves to give exposition and loves to, and it's one of the things that I love about this era. But I just can't read all this. We'll be here all night. And it's sad because I've also been covering some of like Planetary. I love Planetary. And Warren Ellis is the anti Chris Claremont, whereas Chris Claremont puts in too many words. Warren Ellis hardly puts anything on, so it makes it a little tougher to try to figure things out. So anyway, so you hear this alarm here, and Kitty goes, "That's the burglar alarm. The house computer should be printing out the details on the wall screen." Ah, there it is. So, Zone 415, upstairs, Orodo's attic. So, she faces through the wall, and she's going to head upstairs, and she goes, "Gee, it's gotten cold all of a sudden." And no wonder, my costume's insulated, and I can still feel the icy cold. "Oh no, Orodo's flowers. They're all dead, poor thing, but this isn't right. Granted, this attic was like a hothouse, and the winter air outside will kill the plants quickly, but not so quickly, so completely." And then she steps on some goo here, and she's like, "What the heck is this?" But suddenly, look at this. This is awesome. Absolutely cool. And I wonder if Byrne um, and Claremont were inspired by the aliens. I know that comes later with after after Arcade, the next stupidest. I'm not a big fan of the Brood, but c'est la vie. So the demon tries to get her, and she's gonna try. She phases through, and she's gonna try to get away, but you can see the demon still, and she's like, "What the heck? How do I do it?" And here it is, even says, "I can't keep this up forever." So she keeps phasing, but this thing keeps going through. I love the shade here. I love how this is indicated. That is really, really nice. Um, so that monster will have to deduce what I've done. The question is, can it do it? Can I do it? So she's just um, looking at a place to hide here. So she's gonna go and see if she can get the phone, but he shows up, and she phases just in time, but she actually felt it. She goes, "I felt that. I managed to face the instant before it hit me, but its attack still hurt. I've never felt such agony. My right arm's numb, frozen, useless," she says. So look at again, it is just how I understand John Byrne saying, "Okay, you're adding too much dialogue," and I understand, but this is what Chris Claremont does, man. And so you you can I don't mind the exposition. It's just doing these videos. I can't read all this. It's just we'll be here all night, like I said. But it's beautiful, and I have actually read every word of this issue. So, all right. So she's in the danger room here, and the thing comes through here, and off they go. You can see she phases out through the window, and the demon goes after her. And so she programmed the danger room and decides to let the danger room deal with the demon. But the demon isn't dumb, and so um he's not going down without a fight. But then she notices the fire, and the demon reacted to the fire. So she's like, fire. So again, go after a lot of words. We're just kind of go through it. Mostly because here it really doesn't matter. This is just kind of what's going on in her mind. Just basically explaining things that you can clearly see here. So again with the fire, and so she's like, fire. So we're gonna get to that. So they're gonna go to the hangar here. We can see that it's coming after her, and so she is getting in here. But this thing is kicks her out here, so you can see that. And so here we go. Now she's gonna go into the Blackburn. Remember what I said? Don't show things unless you're gonna use them. So what the heck did she have to learn how to do the Blackbird? Well, because. And so she's gonna turn it on, and here it comes. She's waiting. I love this part here. And he's getting, and then boom, and turns on the engines, and it's Chris Claremont just explains how much power is in these engines. So um two engines, each rated at 20,000 kilograms of thrust flare, so etc., etc. So there's a lot of exposition here to tell you that this thing is not going to get back up. So you can see it, and kind of moves because, of course, she wrecks the Blackbird, and she's like, and so she floats, and she's gonna go check if that thing is dead. She doesn't think anything survived, but here comes the hand, and we don't see anything except the X-Men arriving home, and they see the dark. It's dark, so Colossus says, "No lights, Professor. That could mean nothing. It's late. Kitty could have gone to bed. Perhaps, Peter, but there is a miasma of evil about the house that inhibits my telepathic abilities. Ororo, uh, sorry. Check inside. Ororo, stay here to protect the car." And you see here that there's people here. This is strange. It's significantly colder inside the house than outside. I swear I've sensed this particular evil before, but for the life of me, I can't remember when. It's infuriating. All seems peaceful, Professor. Wait, I hear the television. Someone must be in the living room. Kitty. Oh, Jan. Hi, Peter. So you can see she, oh, wow. Thank heavens it's you. Wait till you hear what happened tonight. You have no idea how happy I am. Kitty, please. If you're happy to see Peter, kitten, how'd you feel about us? And here's her parents. Mom, Dad, you grew a beard. So, and so, they celebrate, Christmas Eve. Yes, they're Jewish. They really celebrate Hanukkah. That was sort of mentioned in the past, but, Storm says, Kitty, I've just been to my upstairs attic. Uh-oh, what precisely happened while we were gone? And she says, I was attacked by a big, ugly monster, a monster. Ororo, you should have seen it. We fought. I got lucky. I won. But in the process, we kind of wrecked the danger room. Wrecked the danger room, and the Blackbird, and the hangar, and a lot of the house. Oh, my. Are you angry? I'm not quite sure, but from the sounds of things, I'm fairly certain I should feel terribly proud of you. Gee. And so here we see everything, and then the demon just sort of the ashes of it kind of creating the shape. And so, next issue, The Return of Cyclops. So, next issue is a fill-in artist, Brent Anderson, who does Astro City with Kurt Busiek. Will be the guest artist. He also does the God Loves Man Kills graphic novel. So, and then Dave Cockrum will be the new penciler. There was a letter that was included in this about Chris Claremont saying, John Byrne is leaving and all that kind of stuff. But there's plenty of YouTube stuff out there that'll have all that for you. So, X-Men 143 by Chris Claremont, John Byrne with Terry Austin. Oh, what a run. What a run. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.